this, and it'd be very interesting to see how Meg Luppe, KLC 73, which we haven't mentioned about yet, but so he's his first ever Invictus race as well as his debut season. I think MJ Coupe as well in this first.
It is. It is. It definitely is.
So and Makers as well.
So yeah, we do have a lot of new members from that are joining us this season. So it's going to be interesting how they can actually incorporate themselves in with the drivers that have been doing this for a while.
Yeah, it should be very, very interesting on here, but it'd be good to see how these new guys can put wits battling against the experienced guys of the performance league. So it'd be very interesting to see how these guys can capitalise on it. So yeah, it should be good. On here, I think, as you said, Craig, please, let's have a 4 in a bed for tonight, please. I don't ask for much, but that's all I ask. And they're coming up to the starting grid now. So, Craig, I'm going to enjoy this season, and I know you will. Let's have a cracker. Let's have a cracking race tonight.
Absolutely. I made the mistake though that as I left the last lobby, I actually closed the application, so I've just restarted the live stream. So hopefully whoever was watching and who had joined us can rejoin us again. So as we wait for the five red lights.
5 lights. Here we go. Oh, Giuseppe's jump start.
Oh!
MJ Coupe's jump start.
So a bit of nerves there from Giuseppe as Nick Thompson gets a clean getaway, followed by the Sauber of Delange, but it looks as if the Williams is looking for the inside. Oh, Delange puts in the middle of the track, hopefully preventing drivers from having a go. There's contact between Nick Thompson and Delange. Delange spins. Oh, no! And certainly there's been an incident in the midfield. It looks as if Nicky's slowing down. I don't know if that's front wing damage, but that's promoted Sir Spud up to second.
That's
certainly an incident at the front and the middle of the grid. A few drivers getting involved in that. Certainly Delange was the big loser in that. I think he tried to have a little look on the inside of Nick Thompson and just clipped the rear tyre and caused the spin. He's currently falling down the grid. He's in 18th with 8.5 seconds between himself and Meg Luppe in 17th. But a spectacular start from Sir Spud and Nick Thompson, with Nick Thompson opening up the gap to 1.4 seconds, but he's going to come under threat from the reign of Giuseppe, but Giuseppe will have a drive-through for that jump start. As we have yellow flag sector 2, Mackers retires from session. Mark, what happened?
There was something happened at the back of the grid, and he lost his car on the wall, and I don't know exactly there, but that was what happened there, Craig. That's why I was watching all the battle going on at the back, and I'm just taking a little bit of a breather there. Oh, thank God for that. Here we go. So we got Giuseppe going into the pit. MJ Coupe's got a 5 second. He's having a bad start to the race here tonight. Just got to see if there's any other battle going on.
Well, I've got yellow flags in sector 2 and 3. As Rossi is coming under attack from JFM and the Toro Rosso behind, the gap 0.4 of a second. As Nick Thompson continues to open up the gap to Sir Spud, the gap is not almost 2 seconds now.
Yeah, but watching core tactics now from 8th, catching up to Mike.
Yeah, he's all over the Toro Rosso. Mike ahead, fighting for 7th. So core tactics looking very mighty in the Sauber at the moment, currently in 8th, but Nicky is in 9th on the Super Softs, with Nitrogas down in 10th. Meg Luppe moves up to 11th after a poor...
I just saw that there. KLC 73 went onto the wall. I think he lost control of the car. and he's just dropped quite a few places. And just Giuseppe has got another penalty throughout Russia. So I do apologise there, Craig. I'll let you carry on. Sorry.
Oh, it looks as if there's going to be a four-way battle for fifth with Fast Going, Mike, COD Tactics, KLC, and possibly Nicky soon to join this.
Yes.
Oh,
come on!
Nitro's currently having a bat with Mig Lugpay and the Renault all over the back of him with a gap of 0.4 of a second. The DRS will come into effect the next lap. Oh, Nitro runs wide, coming out the penultimate corner. That's going to compromise his entry into the final corner. And his straight line speed as Meg Lugpay moves to the inside of turn 1 in the Renault. He will have DRS. It looks as if he's got the move done ahead of that though. Oh, Nitro throws it in the inside. Nitro moves to the inside. Oh, who's going to take turn 1? No. It looks as if the Renault is slightly ahead and claims turn 2.
Oh my God, here we go. We got Core Tactics coming up to Mike in 6th. Oh, he's having a quick look there.
He's almost 3/10 behind Mike. Had a little look on the inside, but Mike will have a slipstream of Fast Going slightly ahead in the Ferrari. Oh, Core Tactics runs wide.
Oh my God.
Yeah, certainly a three-way battle developing for 5th. Because it looks as if Nicky's just out of reach at the moment with a 1 second gap between himself and COD Tactics. So Mike is going to have to try and use the Ferrari of Fast Going to stay ahead of COD Tactics and neutralise that DRS.
Yeah, they've already got the DRS. I'm just watching it from COD Tactics view on the car.
COD Tactics is hanging onto the gearbox of Mike ahead. Oh, little bit of loss of traction. Oh, looks as if COD Tactics is really struggling in that Sauber, but he's doing well to keep the Toro Rosso within touching distance. But he will have to be aware of Nicky in the Williams going up to the coming out of turn 1, going into turn 2 with DRS.
Here we go. We might have a 3 in a bed. It might be wrong. It might be a 2 in a bed. It might be no in the bed. Come on.
Oh, Nicky moves to inside. Looks as if COD Tactics is going to go defensive, but I think he was just trying to put Nicky off.
Yeah.
So as the four-way battle for 5th continues, Rick's currently chasing down Nitro guys, down in 11th and 10th. The gap 0.3 of a second. Delange's still down in 17th at the moment. Oh, right all over the back of Nitro.
Oh my God, he's got it for it? No! He's done it! What a move! Oh my God, what a move!
Oh!
I know he's got the ultras.
Fast Going in, Mike! Wheel to wheel!
Oh my God!
Oh, Mike,
don't do this!
But Mike's also got DRS. He'll be looking to open up the gap to the Sauber behind of COD Tactics and Nicky. Closely falling behind COD Tactics. He's loving a look on the inside of Fast Going to the Ferrari. But it's compromised his turn into the next corner. I think COD Tactics is desperate to get beyond Fast Going in the Ferrari. He's certainly feeling the pressure of the Williams behind. Fast Going elects to jump out of this and go into the pits. I'm wondering if that's a very, very early pit stop. I don't know if that's front wing damage.
Yeah. I can tell you that, Craig. It is absolutely front wing damage. But we're watching Nicky catching up to Core. Oh my God! 2 in a bed. Hey.
Yeah,
Nicky.
I think with straight line speed of the Williams, he'll get this move done.
Oh no!
He went to push Core a little bit way, but Core was having none of it.
No! Oh my God!
Oh, wheelie wheel round turn 4. Neither driver backing out as Nicky just kept the power down the Williams.
No, don't do this. Don't do this. No. Oh, fair play. Oh my God, fair play, guys. Fair play. My God, I need a drink of that one. Oh my God.
I think that was a seat clenching moment for both drivers there as they were going flat out round turn 4.
Just watching Notorious. Sorry, you were saying, Craig?
I've just quickly jumped on board with GFM as he hunts down Rossi for the final podium position. The gap half a second. So GFM doing very well in the Toro Rosso as well as Rossi in the McLaren, as Nick Thompson opens up the gap to 4.6 seconds from Sir Spud.
Oh! Just watching Notorious catching up to Nitro, but Notorious has just had a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. So...
Yeah, certainly the race stewards are being very strict this evening with the corner cutting. That's actually been a few drivers that have received a penalty. As Saab is all over the back of KLC with the battle for 14th. Half a second down KLC. I think Saab getting a little bit impatient in Ferrari. He'll be wanting this move done. If he just waits for DRS, he should get the move done easily enough.
Just watching Nicky closing in on Mike for 5th place. Now, I tell you what, Craig, this is intense.
It's certainly been an explosive start to the race. Mike was unfortunate to retire early. It looked as if he could have been challenging for midfield points, but disaster for Mackers in his very first race at Invictus. The gap between GFM and Rossi is 0.7 of a second, with Nicky closing down Mike. The gap 2/10. So Nicky looking to get a move done in the Toro Rosso, Mike early on in the race, and certainly he'll be looking to go longer in the race than Mike.
Yeah, I'm just watching, still watching Nicky battling out for Mike now. Probably 3/10 now, while everyone else is just spread out now.
Yeah, I think Nicky's just remaining patient at this stage in the race. He certainly doesn't want to risk damaging his front wing. He's going to have the pace in the run down into turn 2, plus he'll have DRS. So Nicky just needs to remain patient, get a good run out the final corner. As Nicky, as we speak, receives a 3-second penalty, but he should get this move complete going into turn 2.
Yes, here we go. Oh, he's going. Mike's going defensive. Oh, he's going back. Oh my God!
Good straight line speed in the Toro Rosso, right enough to hold off the Williams. So
That's
good straight line
play.
speed from Mike in the Toro Rosso.
That fair play to Mike there, because the Williams, especially with the straight line speed of the Mercedes power, but it looked like he got a bit of a good boost there. But at the minute, that's the only battle we've got so far in lap 7. Don't get me wrong, Craig. I mean, do you think Nick will hold on to first? Do you think he'll go super soft at the end?
He's certainly got the pace at the moment in the Red Bull. There's nobody near him. I think he could be doing a lot of tyre conservation as well as fuel saving. Looking to go long in the race. I do expect him to go from ultras onto supers to take him safely till lap 27 in the Russian Grand Prix, but no one anywhere near him at the moment, so this should be a comfortable win for Nick. We do know that rain was forecast in the previous race. Whether we still have that in this remains to be seen. As we jump on board with fast going, currently battling MJ Coop for 12th. Oh, they're up the back straight. Looks as if fast going does have DRS. He goes round the outside and he will get the move done.
He took it well. He took that well, to be fair. But Nicky's coming up to Mike with 4/10. He's got the DRS. He's going for the inside.
Yeah, Mike, look, going defensive, comes back onto the racing line.
JFM has got another 3-second time penalty. So it'll be very interesting to see if the guys who don't have the penalties gain a lot. So it'll be very interesting point of view from here tonight. As we're watching Nicky still closing in.
Yeah, I'm very surprised that Nicky hasn't got the move done yet. Certainly had another shot at DRS going into turn 2, but the Toro Rosso looks to have good straight line speed at this point in the race.
Yeah, it looks like he has got the advantage here, but but Nicky should kick in now because he's within about 3/10 now. But he should have DRS. I mean, look at that. I don't know if that's... Oh, Craig, correct me if I'm wrong. We've seen rain. We've seen rain.
I'm just looking at that as Mike and Nicky go wheel to wheel round the corner at the back, after the back straight. And you're right, Matt, we are seeing rain. So we're seeing the first few drops of rain. I think it'll take a while yet before we have to do the crossover to the intermediates.
What? I'll let you have a think about that while watching Rick now. Trying to get into Meglepé. I don't know what you say.
I think we might see the crossover on lap 14 if the rain remains this way in the race. I think it'll be a little while before the crossover, as Nicky does move up to 5th from 6th with the overtake on Mike.
Yes, definitely. But pardon me. Mike's gone a little bit wide there. I think it's kicking in now. I think the tyres.
Yeah, it does look to get a little bit heavier down at turn 2 and 3. So it could be heavier at some spots compared to others. As Rick is all over the back of Meglepé in the battle for 8th. Saab receives a 3-second penalty. Looked as if Rick was struggling with the back end of the McLaren there on the ultras, so we could actually be seeing the crossover earlier than anticipated, and this could certainly throw everything up in the air.
Yes, definitely.
We're actually just waiting to see when the race stewards will actually disable DRS, and that will certainly indicate the crossover. Rick has a moment. He lost rear end grip in the McLaren as Saab leaves the session. I think that's a disconnect rather than a retirement, because his car is still going on track. Fair enough, it's got a lost front wing. I don't know if that's a retirement from the driver rather than the car. And DRS does become disabled. Nick Thompson pits for the intermediate. So Nick, the first car into the pits for the intermediates, followed by Rossi. So it looked as if Rossi had got a move done in Sir Spud somewhere on track, because Spud was comfortably up in 2nd. So all drivers coming in for the intermediate tyres. Will we see a double stack?
I don't think we will. The double stack.
So this should actually play into the drivers starting the ultras rather than the super softs. Disaster for Frascone, who'd actually had to pit already for a change of front wing.
Yeah. As you were saying,
Delange has lost it! Delange has lost the car in turn 3, currently still on the ultras, yet to pit. Sector 3 rather than turn 3. He's lost the rear end, he's received front wing damage as he tries to manage the car back to the pits. Nick Thompson opening up his gap to 2nd with a 13.1 second gap.
Oh my god, Court's gone in the inside. Oh, what a move. Sorry about that, Craig. I didn't want to shout that too much on that one, but Court Tactics went, you pass the first sector, you go left-hander, like proper left-hander, one of those corners, and he just went inside, and he just he just done it well. I'm just crap with corners.
I'm just watching the pressure that Sir Spud is going to come under from Nicky. The gap 0.5. So Spud will be wanting to hold on to 4th. He won't be wanting to lose any more positions at this point in the race.
No. As I was saying to you earlier, Craig, Spud, I think Spud lost a bit of his front wing, hence why Rossi went in front on P2 when Spud was in P3 at that time. So it will be very interesting to see how these guys can hold on.
Well, we're going to see a very interesting drag race going into turn 2 with the Force India and the Williams both powered by the Mercedes unit. So I think it's going to come down to slipstream plus car setup. Who's going to actually remain ahead or get ahead going into turn 2.
Oh,
Spud is holding on to a slim gap. The gap 0.4 of a second. Yeah, Nicky's a little bit back. I don't think he's close enough to make a move, but he's certainly having a little look on the inside of Sir Spud. At turn 2, he's saying, "Yep, I'm here, and I'm going to try and have you." But this is what I wanted to see, Malk. I wanted to see wheel-to-wheel battles at turn 4 under wet conditions. As Sir Spud has a little loss of rear end grip, that allows Nicky to close down even more. Going into turn 7 and 8.
This may bring Mike. I was going to say this may bring Mike in, but
yeah, they got 4.6 seconds. If Mike can keep it clean, they'll be looking to catch Sir Spud and Nicky battling ahead.
Spud's doing well. He's pulling away a little bit here. I'm just watching it from Nicky's car point of view on the TV screen. But Spud's pulling right away from Nicky.
It's certainly a strong performance under wet conditions in the Force India for Sir Spud at the moment, but certainly Nicky's no quitter. Oh, Nicky just cuts the corner slightly there, but Nicky does have a 3-second penalty to add to his race time also.
Yeah, but don't get me wrong, Craig, Spud is a master in the wets, don't forget. He does really well in the wets, so if he can capitalise on this, then this may help Spud. But just as long as he keeps his nose clean, you know, and avoid all the issues and nerve issues on that one. So.
Well, I've just jumped in the fellow Williams of Notorious. It looks like he's really struggling with rear end grip coming through the quicker corners. He was closing down fast going, the gap was 1 second, but after a few issues, Notorious is actually suffering the gap of 1.5 seconds now, as Giuseppe's awarded a 3-second penalty. It looks with Notorious, when he tries to put the power down, the rear of the car is kicking out on him, so he's going to have to plant that power gradually. Yeah. Because if he continues to do so, it's just going to allow fast going to open up the gap. So as the battle for fourth continues between Spud and Nicky, the gap 0.3 of a second.
Yeah, this is the nearly closest battle we've got at the minute, but this is very good for Spud at the minute just to hold on. But Nicky will try everything in his might to try and pass Spud, but I bet he wishes the DRS should be on.
Yeah, we're going to
with the wet track.
We're going to have to go old school now that the DRS has been disabled. So it's good old-fashioned slipstream overtake racing.
Yeah, but I think Spud has got this in the bag by holding on for fourth at the minute. But I know we're coming up to the halfway mark, Craig, but who's impressed you the most?
Certainly Rossi and the McLaren, sitting up in second at the moment. And although we can put that down to wet weather slightly, he was actually in third in the McLaren in the dry. So a very, very exceptional performance from Rossi at the moment, especially after an error in qualifying which resulted in thermal damage. Yeah. So another stellar performance from Rossi at the moment.
Definitely. I would agree with you on that one, Craig, because he's done a magnificent job.
And as well as battling Nicky at the moment, Sir Spud is actually catching JFM up ahead, so Sir Spud's still in a chance for the podium position. The gap now 6.5 seconds, 6.3 seconds. So Sir Spud on a flyer at the moment at this point in the race. So as you say, Mark, he is the Rain Master.
The Rain Master. But I lost it a little bit there. But Spud hold on for dear life. He's trying everything to catch up to JFM, but avoiding the battle with Nicky.
Notorious has actually managed to maintain control of the car a bit better. He did have the gap down to 1.4, but as he's coming out, as he's actually coming to the end of sector 1, he is really struggling to keep the car straight when he puts the power. When he puts the power down, so when he's putting his right foot down on the go fast button, He's certainly struggling.
Yeah. Yeah.
So although he's getting that power down, it is going sideways and it is compromising the gap between himself and Fast going ahead. Fast going currently in 10th. He'll be looking to score some good points on his birthday this evening.
Definitely.
So Nicky actually closer than he's been for a while. The gap now half a second. It does seem to get very close to Spud Mark, but then in the straights the gap opens up slightly.
Yeah, especially the two cars have got like the Mercedes powered as well. But it could be that Spud has got there's the lower aero, whereas Nicky probably got a bit of a higher aero for the corners and stuff.
Looks as if Fast Going could be making a move for 9th on Meg Lugpay in the Renault ahead as he tries to open up the gap to Notorious behind. But he can actually see Rick in the McLaren slightly ahead in 8th as well. But one driver we haven't mentioned is Core Tactics in the Sauber, holding on to 7th as well, looking to chase down Mike with a 2.6 second gap at the moment. So still all to play for at the halfway stage of the race. The gap almost 2 tenths between Sir Spud and Nicky. So Nicky doing everything he can to get ahead and get a move done on Spud, but Spud defending with all of his might and experience to keep the Williams driver behind.
We might have another battle going on with Fasco and Meg Lugpay now for 9th. But Fasco.
Oh yeah, I think he's caught the Renault driver sleeping, but he's actually broke himself and he's ran wide. But that allows Meg Lugpay to close right in behind the gearbox of the Ferrari and hopefully tuck in behind the slipstream. We won't want to be getting caught by Notorious behind and lose 2 positions in so many corners.
Yeah, I think he's going to have to. He might lose out here in the next few corners if he don't watch it as well. But it's going to be very interesting to see what happens now.
Just looking at the interval times as well, Mark, it looks as if Nicky's dropped off from Sir Spud as well. So that could be a tactical move, just allowing the gap to open up slightly, let his tyres cool down and his engine.
Yeah, because at the minute you don't want to get too close because he might lose a bit of the tyre wear and stuff, and
you certainly don't want to lose any parts of your front wing at this stage of the race either, which would mean an unnecessary pit stop and effectively rule you out of the race.
Yes,
but Notorious is still struggling with the rear end of the Williams as he puts the power down, and that's going to allow Meg Lugpay in the Renault to just keep him behind. The gap 4 tenths of a second. Well, we see a move into turn 2. Oh, Notorious thinks better of it. He's certainly not close enough. He's just tucking in behind the Renault going into turn 2 and 3 and of course the fast turn 4.
That's what I was on about earlier. Fast turn 4. That's the Craig. That was the one.
Oh, Notorious, I thought he was going to have a little look in there. It looked as if the Renault driver had opened the door as Nicky receives another 3-second penalty. That'll certainly play into the hands of Sir Spud, who's still closing down GFM UFC with a gap of 4.8 seconds.
That's pretty impressive from Spud. He's doing really well to try and close the gap onto JFM. But I'm still watching Notorious closing right here on Meg Lugpay. He's going on the inside. Oh my god. Here we go. DRS. Long straight. Without DRS. Old school. Can we do it?
Yeah, I think the power of the Mercedes unit in Williams will definitely get him ahead. Going into turn 14, Notorious struggling to slow the car down. I think the Renault driver McLugby conceded that place. He certainly wanted to avoid contact there. And that allowed Notorious to claim 10th.
Oh my god.
So good racing down the back straight of the Russian Grand Prix, which allows Notorious to move up to 10th, and he'll be hoping to have another go at Fast going for 9th.
Yes, definitely.
So he did lose a bit of time there, the gap 3.6 seconds, and he'll be looking to make that time up as quick as possible, Malk, as Sir Spud has now got the gap down to 4 seconds between himself and JFM UFC.
Yes, that's like I said earlier, Craig. He's doing a fantastic job to close in right in on JFM. But you don't know if he's saving the tyres, you don't know if he's saving fuel or anything like that to try and catch up to him. But I think Spud will be worried about Nicky at the minute because
Nicky's took another half a second out on Malk, so you're certainly right in what you're saying. So I think Nicky's allowed his tyres to cool down as well as the engine, and he's deciding to have another go. He could have also been in fuel saving mode, and he could have turned the engine back up again. So it looks as if we're going to have round 2 of the battle for 4th place.
Yes, definitely. It will be like the proper boxing match.
But just as we're talking about the battle between Spud and Nicky, Malk, the battle between Rick and Fascone for 8th could be happening pretty soon. Fascone 8/10 of a second behind Rick, coming through into sector 3. Certainly Fascone will have the straight line speed of the Ferrari power unit compared to the McLaren Honda. So Rick is going to have to defend for all his might as Rossi receives a 3-second penalty. It looks as if Rick actually conceded that place. He's not wanting to battle Fascone too much. So very surprised by Rick's move there. I think that's possibly a strategic move to tuck in behind the Ferrari and get the slipstream, rather than and possibly increasing his straight line speed rather than trying to keep the Ferrari behind.
Yeah, I think I was going to say, I think we might have a little bit of a problem on the tyre wear situation, because on my screen it looks like Rick's McLaren has got the super soft tyres, not the Inters.
Yeah, I'm getting that information as well. So we could be getting the wrong telemetry from the game. It does show on the spectator menu that all drivers are on intermediates, but visually when you ride on board with Rick, he is on the super softs.
Yeah. So I'm just watching Nicky again with Spud, but Spud's closing, like you said, closing right here on JFM. It's now 2.5 now. Okay, Craig, 10 laps, Spud to be in podium for 3rd. Do you think he'll do it?
Yes.
You reckon he'll do it?
Yeah, just gauging on how quickly he's caught JFM. Although he'll certainly catch him, and I think he could overtake him, but the question will be, can he keep Nicky behind and maintain 3rd? That's going to be the question harder to answer. I certainly think Spud will catch and overtake JFM, but can he keep Nicky and the Williams behind? Nitro Gash currently catching Meg Lugpy for 11th, the gap 6/10 of a second. Meg Lugpy actually goes into the pits, which I'm surprised to see. I don't know if that's front wing damage. It certainly shouldn't be because of tyre wear.
You're right there, Craig. You were spot on there without even looking at the car. He had front left wing damage as well, so that's why he had to
I'm wondering if that was possibly developed from the battle between himself and Nitro, because as Nitro made the turn, certainly the Renault was very slow to turn in, so possibly an incident with the wall under braking, or a possible collision with Notorious. Hopefully we'll find that information out at the end of the race.
Hopefully. But
sorry to interrupt you there, Mark, but quickly, Notorious is all over the back of Rick as Rick runs wide. It looks as if Rick's possibly struggling with the car at this stage, but Notorious now moves up to 9th, and he will be wanting to catch Notorious again.
I'm just watching Nicky still, as you was watching Notorious then, Craig. He was down to 3/10 then, but now it's just dropped a little bit back. Spud's trying his utmost to hold him back.
And as he's doing that, Malk, he's losing time to JFM ahead.
Yeah, he doesn't want to do that. He needs to get quicker. He needs to get quicker somehow. But Nicky's pulling Spud back. With this battle going on. But fair play to these guys, because this is our actual first race of the season, and it's very intense moments here, and it's very good.
And it also looks as if Giuseppe's starting to close down KLC 73 for 13th. Certainly, a little slide from the Renault. That'll cost him a little bit of time as he's trying to catch KLC. The gap was 0.8 of a second. He's lost 0.2 there as we come round the final corner. He'll be wanting to get a bit closer to that for the run down into turn 2 as the gap remains half a second between Sir Spud and Nicky. But Sir Spud is starting to lose time to JFM ahead as the gap increases to 3.1 as Nicky now receives another 3-second penalty. I believe that's 9 seconds in total.
9 seconds. At the minute, Michael will be moved to 5th and Nicky dropped down to 6th at the minute. It'll be very interesting to see how. That
was close. I was very surprised that Giuseppe didn't actually run into the back of KLC there. Well held. KLC went very wide on the entry into turn 5, and it looked as if Giuseppe took a tighter, more aggressive line, and I don't think there was a lot of room left between both drivers. Nicky's trying to just get that power down too quickly now in the Williams, and he's really kicking out the rear end of the car, and he actually is struggling for traction, and that's allowing the Force India of Sir Spud to open up the gap. He's almost got up to 1 second, and he's beginning to close down JFM again. The gap now down to 2.6 seconds. So Spud just needs to concentrate on what's ahead of him at the moment rather than Nicky challenging him behind. He won't know how much penalties Nicky has behind, but he will know that he has got at least one.
Yes. Just watching Giuseppe now, closing in on KLC 73. Here we go. He's right close now.
Yeah, he's a lot closer now. He should get a good slipstream. He'll get a good toe going in round turn 1 into turn 2. Will he make a dive into the chicane at turn 2 and 3? The Haas goes defensive. He moves to the outside, tries to squeeze. Oh, slight contact there. Both drivers run wide. It cost Giuseppe more time in the Renault. I think he was possibly getting squeezed too much there, Giuseppe. I do think he could have been left a little bit more room. But the battle continues for 13th.
Just going back to Nicky now with Spud. So we're a second now.
Just to update you on the battle between the MJ Coupe and Nitro for 11th, the gap down to 9/10 of a second. So the Mercedes car. The Mercedes driver, MJ Coupe, will be looking to get a move done in Nitro, possibly into turn 2 on the main straight.
Yeah, hopefully. But it'll be very interesting on here. But now, Nicky still in 5th. I bet Nicky's thinking, what do I need to... honestly, what do I need to do to get past Spud?
Well, after the turn 2 collision between KLC and Giuseppe's right up the back of the Haas car of KLC. The gap 0.3 of a second. Oh, Giuseppe having a little look on the inside just to put KLC under a little bit of pressure, but I think Giuseppe will be a bit more tactical than that. He'll be wanting the toe down into turn 2. Hopefully we can see an overtake without any contact. Yeah, certainly Giuseppe got the better exit coming out of the final corner.
MJ Coupe could be...
KLC goes defensive, goes to the inside. Giuseppe looking to go round the outside. Who's going to break last? Oh, drivers go wheel to wheel. Both drivers actually go off track as they slide. It allows KLC to come back through, going into the entry of turn 4.
No! I thought Giuseppe...
But MJ Coupe's actually fighting with Nitro Gas as well. Oh, both drivers go wide. Giuseppe just misses the wall. In fact, apologies, it was KLC had just missed the wall as he came back onto track. As Giuseppe receives a 3-second penalty, but as that's going on, there's a battle going on for 11th between Nitro and MJ Coupe.
Oh, I don't want to move from Giuseppe KLC at the minute, Craig.
Nicky's all over the back of Swift Spud again. He's closer than he's been for the last couple of laps. The gap half a second. Surely he must risk it with 5 laps remaining of the Russian Grand Prix. They see the Toro Rosso of GFM slightly ahead. They know that a podium place is within touching distance. As Giuseppe makes a move in KLC.
Yeah, Giuseppe's made the move, but KLC ain't giving up on here. Still that. No.
Oh, there's a big slide there from the Renault. I don't know if there was contact prior to that slide and it was just a little nudge, I'm not sure.
I'll talk to you more about it after the race, Craig. Just watching MJ Coupe now closing in on Nitro Gas. Well, actually, I'm going to go back to Nicky. It's 5/10 now.
Nicky will be sitting there scratching his head. What do I need to do to get by this Force India ahead?
What do I do?
As Giuseppe's starting to close down KLC, the gap down to 0.6 of a second. As Meg Lumpy receives a 3-second penalty from the race stewards.
So, I mean, fair play to Nick tonight for dominating the race tonight. And Rossi, who I think is my driver of the day, because with a McLaren car up in second, fair play.
Still 4 laps to go, so anything can still happen. As MJ Coupe moves to the inside, coming up to turn 14, Nitro Gas will have the inside command of the corner, but that allows the Mercedes to have the inside of the next corner. But it looks as if the Red Bull is slightly ahead and he will claim it. But MJ Coupe's certainly not backing out of this, and the Nitro Gas defending expertly. So very close between the Red Bull and the Mercedes through the final few corners there, Malk. But Nitro will be... Whoa! There's a... Oh! That was too close for comfort there as MJ Coupe just missed his braking point. And I think Nitro will be glad to see the Mercedes run wide rather than right into the back of his car.
Yeah, definitely there. That was definitely a close shave there on that one. We got Nicky closing in on Spud. Spud can see JFM in the distance. He can see him, but he's got 4 laps left.
Well, I'm just right on board with Giuseppe and KLC at the moment. The gap 0.3 of a second as we again approach turn 2. KLC goes defensive again on the inside. He then comes back onto the racing line, but Giuseppe all over the back of the Haas of KLC. Will we see a move going into turn 5 as they go? Oh, they're going really in turn 4. Oh, KLC slightly ahead, but it looked as if the Renault of Giuseppe was looking to go on the inside. Both drivers getting through turn 4 and into turn 5.
I just saw Nitro just go through into 11th, and I think that was a good move from him. I was trying to get to Giuseppe. Oh my god! Oh!
Contact on track. Yeah.
Oh!
I'm not sure what's happening there, but that's. Yeah, I've got no words for that, but that's actually just resulted in a pile up there, and that will be dealt with after the race.
Just watching Nicky, moving on, we're watching Nicky closing in on Spud. We've got about 4 laps left. Again, can't have to repeat saying 4 laps. KFC's got a 3-second time penalty on. So we've got a set to 3, but Nicky's within touching distance now.
Well, Fast Going is actually all over the back of COD Tactics. A gap 0.6 of a second. So COD Tactics, after a great race from him in the Sauber, could lose 7th. Oh, but Fast Going goes wide and actually loses the rear end. So disappointment there from Fast Going so late in the race. As Nicky currently in, currently still behind Sir Spud, 4/10. What does Nicky have to do to get past the Force India? But fantastic driving from Sir Spud tonight.
Yeah, he has been fantastic tonight, Craig. Oh, Nicky nearly lost it there then. But fair play to Spud. And holding on Nicky, who will be one of the outside contenders of the title championship. Like predictions at the start of the season, but can Nicky do it? I bet he's thinking, I wish I had DRS now. But we'll just wait and see how it goes now.
But it's going to get to a point now though where Spud will actually get the slipstream off the Toro Rosso ahead, which is going to make Nicky's job even harder. So Spud he's got the gap down to 1.4 now, although he'll get a little bit of dirty air coming through turns 4 and also the other fast paced corners, but he will get the slipstream on the pit straight and the back straight, and it'll allow him to defend a bit easier against Nicky.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, I think that's a retired car of Macker's.
Oh, okay. I'm just trying to see there's no other battles going on other than Nicky's.
Yeah, we've just got a race-long battle for 4th place. GFM will be looking to keep that gap between himself and Sir Spud. It's currently sitting at 1.7, but he will be losing overall pace compared to the Force India and the Williams. The gap down to 1.4 seconds. So can Sir Spud get the move done for the final podium position and get his season off to a great start?
Hopefully, yeah. But Nitro's closing in on Rick on the last point of the Invictus Performance League points. But Nitro has definitely got the red ball in that car, and he's definitely got wings. Well, sort of, with those drinks.
Well, he's definitely flying at the moment compared to Rick in the McLaren. Certainly that McLaren down on power in the straights. That will allow the Red Bull to possibly get a move done in the corners. Nitro gets a better exit as Rick went defensive. Nitro all over the back of Rick at the moment. Rick takes a wider line that allows Nitro to come through the inside. Certainly Nitro's not wanting to risk it at this stage of the race. He knows he's got the overall pace over the McLaren. He just has to remain patient and hopefully he'll secure that final point. Oh, I don't know if that was an attempted move or a misbreaking point, but certainly there was contact between Red Bull and McLaren. Nicky currently it was down 3/10 of a second gap, but now half a second as MJ Coupe now receives a 3-second penalty from race control for multiple warnings. So I think possibly drivers are aware that there's a short window of opportunity remaining and possibly risking moves they wouldn't have normally risked earlier on in the race. What Nitro's really wanting that final point. He's certainly fighting hard for it.
Just watching Fasco now, coming up to the straight now for battling out with core tactics. Just watching Fasco's car now. Yeah,
Fasco will certainly have the OP pace as core tactics goes. Yeah, he goes wide to get the better entry. but Core Tactics remains ahead. Oh, Fastgone's fighting hard to try and catch the Sauber.
Oh my god. He looks struggling on the car, Core Tactics. Oh my god!
Oh yeah, he missed his braking point there, went slightly ahead. That allows Core Tactics to open up the gap. Certainly a vital gap as we go into the final lap of the race.
Nitro! He's got 10th! Oh my god! I don't know what happened there, but he got into the last point of the top 10. But we've got fast going Core Tactics battle here, and then we've got Nicky, who's been stuck behind Spud throughout the whole race. I'm just watching fast go now. He's closing right in on Core Tactics.
Yeah, he's got one final chance, Malk. The back straight, he's going to have to get the move done there, because Core Tactics will just park his car in the middle of the track and just defend like mad as Nick Thompson claims the win of the first race of the season of the Performance League. Congratulations to Nick Thompson, you are a race winner of the Russian Grand Prix. Rossi will take second in the McLaren, a spectacular race from Rossi. But the question is, who's going to take the final podium place? GFM has a 1.2 second lead over Sir Spud as he slides a little coming out of the corner, but I think he's got it. I think he's far enough ahead to claim a podium place in the Performance League in the Toro Rosso. Another great performance from GFM, with Spud surely claiming fourth. But the question is, will Nicky lose fifth to Mike after penalties? He's currently sitting in fifth as Mike comes through the final two corners in the Toro Rosso. Will he claim sixth, or can he be promoted to fifth with penalties? He remains sixth. Core Tactics should remain in seventh as Fascone is slightly lost time. Yeah, seventh for Core Tactics, eighth for Fascone, ninth for Notorious. Nitrogash will claim the final point of the race and take 10th after a hard fought battle with Rick in the McLaren.
What a performance tonight, Craig. It's been fantastic, isn't it, tonight?
It's a very explosive start to the race season, so I hope that this is an indication of what we're going to be seeing on track as we move on to the Japanese Grand Prix next week. So if this is what it's like in Russia, I can only imagine what Suzuka will throw up for us, as Nick Thompson claims the top spot on the podium. He is the race winner, followed by Rossi in second, with Sir Spud. Sir Spud promoted to third after penalties, so Sir Spud will be delighted. I thought JFM had actually secured it, but after 3 seconds of penalties when Spud had none, so Spud will be absolutely delighted to claim the final podium place. So JFM moves down to fourth after penalties, with Nicky maintaining fifth. Mike takes sixth with Core Tactics on seventh. Fast going, unfortunate not to overtake the Sauber, but will take eighth. Notorious will take ninth, and Nitro will take the final point of the race in 10th, followed by Rick in the McLaren in 11th. MJ Coupe with the Mercedes in his opening race takes 12th. Giuseppe will take 13th. Meg Lugpe, who reported front wing damage of the Renault, in 14th. Delange will take 15th after an unfortunate start to the race. KLC takes 17th. I believe Saab would receive a DNF in 17th, and the other Mercedes in 18th.
Yeah.
That just says it all for me. An explosive race from start to finish. I hope you've all enjoyed watching it as much as we have. Elfkin commentating on it, and I hope that you join us all next week for the Japanese Grand Prix. Malk, your final words for this evening.
Unbelievable, mate. Absolutely unbelievable. It has been a fantastic race, and fair play to Nick. fantastic drive. He's just dominated it, and like I said, Rossi, fantastic drive from him with a McLaren car, and well done to Spud, who got into third, and it's game on. That's all I'm going to say. How about you, Craig?
Yeah, game on. Certainly, Spud starting in a good position to mount a title challenge, but impressive, commanding display from Nick Thompson. I don't think he'll win the Red Bull for Japan somehow, but very impressive as well from Rossi. And the McLaren, after a disaster in qualifying, to finish second. Great performance from Rossi. Mark, who would you say your driver of the day was once we're now finished the race? Who's your driver of the day?
It's between Rossi and Spud, but I can't decide because them two have had a fantastic race overall, so I can't decide.
I think I'll have to go for Spud. He defended very well from Nicky with tremendous pressure all race. A fantastic performance from Rossi to claim second in a McLaren, but Sir Spud had to manage pressure all race, and I think that's why he just edged it.
Fair enough.
So thanks to everybody who joined us this evening. Thanks to everybody who liked and retweeted the link to the race, and we hope that you all join us next week for the Japanese Grand Prix. Also, we do have the Formula 1 and Formula 2 races tomorrow evening, and we'll be looking forward to see who claims the victory in Russia tomorrow. So thanks to everybody, and a good night.